We're back.
We accept the challenge of providing dangerous, thought-provoking, and sometimes controversial insights into life's most common topics.
I don't know why I packed the hollow points.
Did you just say hollow points?
Yeah. Probably should have brought a super soaker.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Hollow Points podcast. In the previous episode, I have a little bone to pick because you called me a relationship failure.
Yes.
Anybody who's single is a relationship failure.
Correct, at some point.
And it kind of a little bit hurt my goddamn feelings.
Okay.
So one thing I won't be a failure at though is breaking up. So let's talk about breakup rules. Let's have a discussion on what's good, what's bad, what's the best tactic. So when people break up, it's a good break and they can move on and maybe become successful one day. Is that cool?
Yeah, I think it'll work. The issue is, though, obviously it depends on the party, right? It depends on the two people. It takes two to tango and it takes two to let go. And oftentimes, in my experience, I was ready to break up when she wasn't. So that's a different situation than
Wait.
irreconcilable
You saying you
difference.
never been broken up with?
I have yet to be broken up with.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm 8-0. 8-0. So now
They
that
know
doesn't
you
mean,
know.
yeah. Well, here's the situation. That doesn't mean I didn't deserve to be broken up with. It could be the caliber of woman at that time that I was dealing with that didn't know how to move on or let go or figure out, the writing on the wall. I've always been pretty keen to, we beefing more than we probably should. She ain't exciting to me like she used to be, or I done seen something else, or old me, right? Long time ago. Or it's a myriad of reasons why I felt like this is no longer benefiting us mutually. It wasn't just about my benefit. It was about, hey, this is not. And usually I have a breakup speech I'll share with you later on. But I had it and probably used it 5 times. And it was pretty consistent and solid. But the moral of the story is the
That's
reaction
conniving.
to that breakup. The reaction is what we want to avoid. And some people don't want to invest in a relationship. And obviously we can ask a woman, how bad do you feel when you invest a good amount of your time? I ain't even gonna say your good years, but I'm gonna say a good amount of your time into a relationship, and then you break up with him, and he like, all right, then cool. Like, do you want a little bit of tug? Do you want a little bit of fight back? You know what I'm saying? Or some get right?
I gotta
Like, how does
say,
that work?
you conniving for having a canned speech. It should be catered to the person, I think. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Sean.
I agree.
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, I got
To
it.
Are you?
answer your question first,
Mhm.
no. After years of being with someone,
Mhm.
and you feel like it's time, and that person don't put up a fight to hold on,
Mhm.
no, you shouldn't feel bad, and you shouldn't want them if that's what you really want to do. Now, if you're just bluffing,
Mhm.
I think people that want someone to fight for the relationship, they want to throw that out there. Break up with you
Mhm.
in hopes that somebody will say, no, please. They bluffing anyway. That ain't what they really want. Because when you're really done, you don't care if they say, okay, I'm done too. Or if they say, hell no, you done. Bye. I'm gone. So I've,
So, do you think ultimatums is something fake?
Man.
yeah,
Oh
it has to be.
wow.
It's
Ooh.
well, if
Okay.
I give you, so ultimatum is me saying you're either going to do this
Yes.
or this is that.
Yep.
I
You
would
can't
I would say
negotiate with love
yeah,
terrorists. You can't
yeah.
negotiate with love terrorists.
But
'Cause
I'm not.
that's
I take that back. I'm not gonna say it's fake. I would say it's fake if you don't do what you say you're gonna do. It's
this
like
is
why give
No.
one?
Why would it be fake to one person and not the other?
right.
Because if I say to you, I'm leaving,
Mhm.
and I'm just throwing something silly out there. I'm leaving if I come home another day and the grass ain't cut, right? And then
Mhm.
I
Uh-huh.
came home 1 week and you didn't cut the grass, but I stayed. That ultimatum wasn't real. Now, if you come home and everything's gone and I'm gone, then you knew that I wasn't playing, that it's over with. So I don't see why would people give someone an ultimatum and then they don't hold up into up with what they said they were going to do. That
I think
doesn't
I
make
see what
sense
you're
to me.
saying.
So why say it? Yeah, why say it if you're not going to do what you? Because you got to say
Yeah.
it has to be an effect if you don't do what I ask you to do or what I want you to do. So what's the consequence? And then if there's no consequence, then why keep throwing them out there?
Well, I
I'm
think
gonna leave you if you don't
they're
marry
not
me.
ready to be done yet. So if the grass is
So it's
not cut
fake.
and you walk in, you don't just end it all. You say, "Hey, I gave you the ultimatum. Grass still
Mhm.
ain't cut. What's
Mhm.
going on?" And you want to hear, "Oh, I tore my ACL trying to get the lawnmower."
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think
Then would
that's
you
how that
stay?
works. No,
You
because
think you done no matter what?
what when you're saying you giving somebody an ultimatum, like what is if you don't do this, then what are you saying you're gonna do? So
Punishment.
if you're saying you're gonna leave and it's over with, then that's what you should do if it's not done, right?
But what
Because
if
if
they
you
tore their
stay, then you're
ACL?
just giving. Well, then you don't give them
The
don't give
circumstances.
them an ultimatum. I mean,
You
why
got to
say
be
that?
mature enough. Yeah, you got to be mature enough to be fluid in the circumstances. But let's qualify this because I know that we're all mature and have had recently mature relationships. But let's go back into our 20s. All right. So
Mhm.
in my 20, I wasn't 20 yet. Let's just go at 20 years old. I had a girlfriend, loved her, loved my girl, and we was together about a year and a month, and we broke up probably 8 times. And so I thought it was very appropriate and passionate at that time to be so foolish, right? To just say stuff. And so it would be like, fuck you then. And then be like, and then I would call and be like, I overreacted. And blah, because I thought that makeup sex was the best sex because I didn't know all the sexes yet. You know what I'm saying? So,
All the sex
so
categories.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
So we stayed in conflict to stay passionate. And that
my.
was it was a supernova. It burned itself out because of all the turmoil, and so I learned from that episode and the next relationship I was in for 4 years. So I over rotated on the backside of that and was in that motherfucker for like 2 months, too much. Right? Like so in the concept of knowing when to give up or when it's your time, do you have to come in with a line to cross, or does that line come up naturally over time? Like, I'll give you, and y'all heard this before. With me and my old lady, no. Once hands get to being thrown, the waiver has been signed. We are no longer together, court or otherwise. Right? Like that is the line of demarcation. When I
Hmm.
start punching and kicking her, or choking her out, or elbow dropping her, then anything WWF recognizable, then that means I don't want you, and I don't want you to come back, because if you come back from this, that's on the table now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
let's just keep it real.
Mhm.
That's on the table now. So in the idea of, are there lines or that can't be crossed, or are there things that can't be said that you can't, as a woman in your 20s, come back from? And then I'm gonna ask you the same question as a woman in your 30s, 40s, 50s.
As a woman in my 20s, I would say there was no line because in the way that I thought
Mhm,
then
mhm,
is that things could change and it could be fixed, right?
mhm. Okay.
Um, yeah, and the chances were shit never ending.
Mhm.
It was just ridiculous, but and that's just with my children's father. So it was just
Right.
like, okay, well, we'll try again. Oh, you won't do this again. All right. So I think I was very, very naive and I wanted the idea of having their father and stuff
Mhm.
with them mattered more than anything else. But now what age you want me to go to? My 30s
30s, yeah, you
or
can go to
now?
30s. Just 30s. Just 30s. I don't
30s,
want to make it
yes.
seem like we're conspiring. Something go wrong
Oh
with
yeah.
your marriage, and then we on
After
tape
the
conspiring.
after the 20s, I think that's when I look back and I said, oh, this is what I'm not gonna put up with. And that was off top.
Damn.
So yeah,
0 to 60.
I did because I think I had experienced all of that in my 20s, so I knew. So it caused it that ended up making me the way that I looked at guys like differently from and made me decide on what I really wanted. So it wasn't, I didn't have to bring that up in the conversation as when dating because I already knew that that's something that I wasn't going to stand for. So if I saw any of those red flags, it was just going to be like, well, no, that's not what I want. Like, I didn't want anyone that smoked, did drugs, popped
Mhm.
pills, part on all of that. So even if I saw that in a person, there wasn't going to be somebody that I would consider myself talking to or anything like that. So it was, those lines were there in my 30s. Like, nah, I'm not doing the fight. I'm not doing the name calling. I'm not doing, nope.
So,
So I
bro, let
guess
me
it
ask you.
depends on
Go
what
ahead.
you've been through. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
What the relationships you've been in previously, and I think those set the tone for your next relationship.
So before we move off of that, I really have a problem with your first significant relationship using up all the bullshit that dudes could have been privy to. He used all the tokens. You know what I'm saying? And so when you
Man,
came in,
all of
what
them.
none of the man did nobody get no quarter because he had used
But
it all up.
you know what? I don't. Um, for me, I'm kind of. Oh my God! And if he ever heard me say this, he would probably lose his mind. I'm kind of grateful for the experience because after him, I didn't, the next person that I dated, and I made sure that he was the one, that was it. So I didn't have to go through so many relationships to find the one because that one that I was in, like you said, he took me down. He did everything. So he exposed every red flag that I could possibly think of. I mean, he gave it to me. So I was able to look for those. I was able to see it and peep it. And so I guess I would say, I don't I don't too much regret it because I got what I got now.
Have you ever been boot camped? Like she obviously this nigga done put her through boot camp.
That's
have
a
you
good one. A
have
boot
you ever been
camp
boot
one
camp, bro?
time.
Sir, have you been boot camp?
Oh, I thought you was asking her if she had been through
No,
a boot
no,
camp
she
that she
told
put
us about
dudes
the
No,
first
through.
I've
boot
been
camp.
in
Yeah,
boot camp.
she
No.
done been boot camp.
Oh, dang, dang.
Yeah.
Have I ever been the person that gets them ready for the next
No, have
relationship?
you been gotten ready? Has somebody done worn you
Uh,
down enough to where when you get with the next one, you like never again? 437 years, but never again.
I have never had that type of accelerated training. It's been each relationship. I mean, it's like
I like the
maybe
way you
two
said that.
nuggets,
right,
two
right,
nuggets here, two nuggets there. I
right.
would appreciate a class that gave me all the points that I would need in life so I
Gotcha.
could just be prepared
Get
for
it on over with.
success.
Right,
Fast
right,
money.
right.
Yeah, I
You want to
took
be in the
classes
enriched
and got
class?
credits.
Y'all want to be in
She
the
she
enriched
took one
program?
class and got
Man,
her
you ain't
whole
lying.
degree. So nah, I ain't never been in that
Oh,
type
this
of
nigga,
situation. I would
this nigga.
appreciate it just like she's appreciative.
Yeah, he gave her the bullshit cliff notes.
Right.
Um, so
Well,
let me ask you this,
it,
bruh. In your 20s,
mhm,
what would be the best way for a young lady that you really digging? Now let's put some sentiment on it. You
okay.
really digging a young lady in your 20s, and
Okay.
she's not feeling you. What's the best way? You teaching the people now. What's the best way for her to approach young you and break up with you successfully? Like a call center, first time resolution.
Successfully. Whew. So like a 20-year-old male
Mm-hmm.
is still kind of cocky and think it's a whole bunch of women out there because you see
Mm-hmm.
them at the club and everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be too concerned with that. But if
Okay.
I'm thinking that you saying that I'm truly in on the
Yeah, you
verge of
feeling her.
falling for and feeling
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
So I would like this sounds to me it ain't gangster, but I would like the
Okay.
closure, like the pop the balloon or whatever. I want to know I'm not feeling you, and these
Okay.
are the reasons why. I'm
And this
looking
is in
for
a public
this.
place type. This is okay.
No,
Now we
no,
got
no,
to
no,
go.
no. I want mine in private. Don't take me out to dinner and try to wine and dine me.
Is
I
over the
knew you was
phone
gonna say
good?
that.
Over the phone
No,
or text message?
not text, not text.
Okay.
Because if I'm really feeling her, we can have a conversation. Um, I would like it to what Michael. Okay, I'm telling you my dream. I want her to
Go
tell
ahead.
me
Go ahead.
what she thought, what went wrong, what was different, what she need that I didn't have,
Mhm.
and then we just have breakup sex.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then I'm good.
It's
Then
so
Thank
stupid
you.
to me.
I put on some Brian McKnight, Kiss Your
I
Love Goodbye. I
appreciate
guess it
that.
You
wasn't meant
ain't
to
ready.
be.
No,
I
come
gave
on.
my all. I tried, but
Let's
now I
change this
see
channel.
Right.
the love that
Let's
caught
change
my
this
eye
channel. Oh
made
my.
me blind, but now I
I
see.
see. Yeah. Only thing you
Yeah,
could do. Right.
it's kiss
Absolutely.
that love goodbye. Yeah,
Man,
yeah, I would have
same.
to. Same thing with you.
There's the reason to ask. There's no reason to ask me if you was gonna leave out hitting for the last time. She's
Mm-hmm.
just being selfish and inconsiderate. But if she give me
True.
some pity pussy before she leave, then I will not only let her go gracefully, I will also speak highly of her if ever references are needed.
That's an honorable way to say goodbye.
That is ignorant.
I would
Why?
recommend her for a job.
Man, you ain't lying. She can still borrow a little money from me.
Yep.
Then you're not ready to
I would
let
put
go.
air. I put air in her tire.
Instead of
You're
taking it.
just not ready to let go.
I ain't getting it fixed.
No. Listen. He's.
That's
I'm
how
not
you
gonna
let go.
represent you. It is because I think that is closure for a young man. Is that hey, sometimes you lose, right? You ain't gonna go undefeated. It's okay. You just
Yeah,
lost,
yeah.
right?
Ain't no 82-0. Right.
Man, so you just lost. Hey, this one you played good. You had 27, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. It just wasn't in the cards for you to win this chip. So as a consolation, I'm gonna bless you with a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Take all that frustration and you know, you because the one thing that you do if a woman, the people that I've talked to whose woman has broken up with them, they always think, dang, how was it if I'd have known that last time was the last time? If I'd have known that last time was the last time, I would have took 400 years of slavery out on that ass.
Why? For
So,
what reason? Just
because
because you
that
can?
because
Or you
That's
here's
the
the
want her to
question.
proper
stay?
way to say
It
goodbye.
is absolutely,
No, it's not.
She's not
absolutely.
going to stay. Her mind's made up. She
Yes,
don't want to
she has
stay.
emotionally moved
It's
on.
fine. Yeah.
Yep, yep,
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But give
yep,
me the respect of saying goodbye
absolutely.
properly.
She's mature enough
Don't
to come to
text me.
terms with this is not going to
Don't
work.
take me out to dinner.
Keep in mind, he's not saying he did something wrong, he disrespected her. She just wasn't feeling him after all. Something happened that changed the dynamics. The least she could do, especially if they already been sleeping together, she could get one more. Ain't nobody asking about one, but they ask about people, not times. How many times have you been fucking around? They ask how many
Yeah.
bodies you got. So
Well,
it's the
one more
same
ain't gonna
body.
hurt your little
But
old box. Come on.
I just, I just find that hard to believe after one last time
Yeah.
that this guy is not gonna say, okay, so you're not gonna can I have another chance? It's just gonna be a clean walk away. I find that hard to believe.
No, no.
So
Trust me. Trust me, young
are
20-year
you
old.
familiar? I'm sorry for keep bringing up Brian McKnight, but Shonda, have you heard Brian McKnight songs?
She has.
No,
She has.
You've never heard his songs?
You
Any
don't
of his songs?
recognize it.
I don't remember. It
Yeah, she
wasn't
don't
like on
recognize
my
it.
playlist.
He has a
Obviously,
song called One Last Cry. That is not
he
a tear.
does.
I
It's
He
not a
does.
heard
Yeah.
that.
tear.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not you think he's talking about tears?
I know what he was talking about. But now
He's talking about
I
this
have to
what
listen
we
to it
talking
again.
about. Yeah.
But
Exactly. That's the closure.
that's
That's
what
the closure.
that's what a man would want.
Yes. That's the closure. That's the
Well,
closure.
that's not what we want. Well,
Oh, dang.
let me speak from because if we're not feeling
What do
you,
y'all
if
what do
and if
y'all
we're
want,
not feeling
man?
you, if we want to move on, then we just
Mhm.
want to say, hey, this ain't working, and bye.
No, 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 no,
No
no, 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 no,
sympathy?
no.
No
No,
sympathy?
no.
No
Sympathy for what?
Y'all
compassion?
no, y'all want
Because you're
closure.
leaving me.
We
You're
both want
leaving me.
closure. What's closure to you? Because that's we told you it was closure to her.
Yeah. So 20-year-old you getting broke up by a dude. Okay. So 20-year-old
Okay,
you,
so
and ain't nothing, ain't nothing, he ain't going to jail. He ain't nothing
Not a
going
regular
on.
dude.
I
This
got
is
a
elder
regular
bars.
dude. Yeah, listen, yeah, we got to reframe this because when she was 20, it was a different type of dude in her life. So it's okay. He just decided that he needs to move to California and he don't do long distance, whatever you want to make it. How does he bring that about to you to break up with you in the way in which you would want it to be handled?
I'm hoping he would tell me and not just dip. We talk about it.
Cool. Okay, cool. So he comes to you, and how does that conversation go that makes you walk away feeling like I could receive that, like the kids say nowadays? I could receive that.
Hey, I don't know. Just I need to talk to you, and we sit down, we talk, and you tell me they moving, his family moving. I'm moving with my family, and I don't know, but I wouldn't be expecting sex.
What would give you closure though?
Right. I just say
Because
expected.
if
That's the
he had
bonus.
already decided this on his own, he
Yes.
didn't
And
say,
I
"Hey,
can't
I'm
do
moving.
nothing
Are you
about it.
okay?" Exactly.
I-
So, but what would give you closure? What would make you feel like, okay, that's a respectable gentleman. I would recommend him for a job one day.
Because he came and told me. I mean, we sat down and we talked about it. I don't.
Okay, okay.
Mm-mm.
You
Let's
was
say
mature in
said
your
guy
20s.
came
You
and
was
told
too
you,
mature.
and his reason was he was at the club with his friends and mind his own business, and he met a girl who had a bigger butt than you. He came
You
and
could have
told you.
you could have made her a soulmate. That would have tied in well.
Oh yeah,
So
he
he just
made it.
came to me and told me he found his soulmate.
Yep.
He's soulmate
I
with
would
a
be
bigger
hurt.
butt.
hmm
Okay.
My feelings would be hurt.
Uh huh.
Yeah, my feelings would be hurt. But if he came to me with that last, like he said, one last crime, we did that, I would be confused.
It's okay.
Okay. So
Oh,
let's
it's
say
okay for me
I
to be
say it's
confused. For
okay.
you to leave me confused?
Yeah. No,
No,
here's
no,
the
no,
situation.
no.
While I'm hitting that last time, I'm also confused as well. It's a lot of things going on.
And that's
Right.
what I'm saying. That's not a good thing to do when you're trying to break up with somebody.
So let's say
Golly.
he has.
We're both confused. We're loving what we're doing right now, but we know once it's over, we're
Absolutely.
done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you knew before you
Yes.
started.
I
Yes.
think that's what starts stalkers and people being crazy
Damn.
because you gonna lay down with me and we gonna do this one last time and it's gonna be really really good because we giving it. I'm either giving it my 130%
That's
because I
right.
don't want you to leave me,
Yeah.
or you doing it and then you don't call me no more. I don't hear from you tomorrow or nothing. So now I'm just crazy off of this last. Oh, you don't do
I
that.
disagree. Sometimes you got to leave it all out there. Give her the Rockets red glare. You got to give her the Rockets red glare. It's the finale. So they letting off all the works.
Yeah. Everybody
So
got a last concert, a last game.
Man,
Kobe
yeah.
scored 60 on his last
He
game.
so you can have
Oh,
somebody out there 5 years from now still thinking about that last time with you.
Yes.
I do.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my! I
Yes.
think that's a
Are you
man thing.
kidding me? I did
I'm
not
gonna
know
need
this.
some
Audience,
women to come in. I
audience, I
need
was
some
gonna
women to
say,
come in. Yeah, because
audience, I didn't know.
I feel like that's a man thing.
Wow.
And
Wow.
also too, I want to know this makeup fix.
Mhm.
I think that's a man thing.
Oh no. Oh no. It's a
Nah,
crazy
that's a
thing. It's a dramatic
yeah.
thing, but it ain't a
It's
man
an
thing for
apology.
sure.
It's a
Yeah, yeah.
mutual apologize
Because
Absolutely.
for.
Absolutely.
when I can agree with it. I mean,
Mhm.
we do that, but afterwards we still need to solve this problem.
Mm,
No. You
Because
saw the
that
problem
doesn't make it
before.
better.
You saw the problem
mm,
before. It's the makeup.
Mm.
mm. I disagree with both of y'all.
And I was gonna say, I think some people will it can be an issue and
Mhm,
think just because they had a great moment of
mhm,
this sex
mhm,
during this heated
mhm,
situation that afterwards everything is solved because
mhm.
okay she feel good and I feel good, but that's not the case. I don't think it makes up for anything
That's correct.
if that's
Hold
what you're
up.
gonna use it for. If some people use it for that, I don't think. Yeah, I
We
do
could
it, but
we
after
could
that
go
we
to
still gotta solve this problem.
we'll go to you, Chris. But I'm saying what
Okay.
I'm tell you what I say.
Okay.
Okay.
Make up sex is we have resolved the issue. We're making up. I think you're talking about deflection sex. The problem's still there.
Correct.
Let's have
Mm.
sex and
That's
let's
Mhm.
correct.
deflect for a
Okay.
minute and feel better.
Mhm.
But you tell us why you disagree with both of us.
This is why I disagree. Remember, I was with her for a year and a month and we broke up 8 times. We made it 5 extra months because of the doing it. So the situation was I have always had a belief since I was a young lad, knocking these hoes down, that why take away the one thing that is working while you're upset? Like the sex is never the problem. Okay. That's not the problem. Your attitude, my attitude, this money, that's the problem. Why do you think we're going to get better by denying ourselves of the things that are good? We need to worry about the stuff that's bad, but don't mess up the good stuff in the midst of this. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, baby, let's get in the bathwater. And I think that is what has allowed me to extend and reignite some relationships, because we kept the main thing, because that's what I was on at that time. And we was able to navigate through some of the other distractions, but we kept humping. And I think that this is why it's not necessarily to solve anything, it's to make sure that part is not suffering as well. Because I know as a man, if you want to break up with me in the baddest way, let the sex start suffering. You start holding out, oh, it's ain't gonna be no contract renegotiations. You hold out, you're off the team.
I appreciate the bar, but when you're in the union and you go on strike, the issue ain't that you can't walk.
Right.
But you have to stop doing some stuff to get heard, because they are deflecting with that.
We
Hey,
gotta
why
stay
you?
healthy. We gotta stay engaged. We gotta stay healthy. We gotta stay excited about what keeps us. When you're young, that is one of the primary things that
I
keep you there.
disagree, because
Oh, okay.
I'm complaining about you cooking.
Yes.
So I come home, now you got on the Victoria's Secret thing. You still ain't
Just the
cooked,
just the apron.
You still
Just
but you
gonna be
still
hungry
had it
after, huh?
cooked.
we halfway there. We halfway there. I'm all of a sudden not hungry.
But you're gonna be hungry afterwards. As a matter of fact,
I
you're
will
gonna be
be.
starving.
And guess what? I'll get up and drive and go get us something. You just put it on me like a uniform. Yes, you're
Oh my
welcome.
god. Oh
Okay,
my
Well,
problem not deflection.
I
Chandra,
Yeah,
agree.
to
how
another
many how many strikes does one get? Is it baseball? 3 strikes? How many do they
Yep,
get?
3.
Oh, 3?
Dang.
Okay, with the 3
No, you're
strikes.
talking about baseball, right? Or you said I thought
No,
you
she
No,
said
no, no.
in
I'm talking about
baseball. Oh,
relationship. I'm talking about relationship strikes.
oh man. And you
should. I
asking me
guess
now?
should.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
should?
gonna say, should they get? So you put you in your 30s. Let's put you in the middle. Let's put you in your 30s. What's legitimately a good number of strikes? And we're not talking about popping up with kids that you ain't know about or nothing like that, or felonies and whatnot. But we talking about like just bonehead
Yeah,
strikes.
that's being hit with the baseball.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I was gonna say it depends on what it is. You know what I mean? Because you can have those.
No. So getting hit with the baseball, that's when a kid is conceived, an outside
Mhm.
kid, or the
Okay.
police are called. We ain't talking about them. We talking about,
Anything you got to do with the chorus.
yeah. So how many, let's say, medium strikes do they get?
That's hard. I don't know because it's still. I understand about the hard strikes, but the
Mhm.
mediums, like if you,
They add
for
up.
yeah, they do add up,
You
and it
can't
just
sit at the plate
depends
all
on.
day swinging.
Yeah, I know, and it just depends on where your threshold is. Like I don't know, because some of them it shouldn't even be considered as a strike. So I guess it depends on what it is. Hard strikes would be for me. The medium ones, I don't know. I can't say because picking
Oddly,
up your
I
shoes,
agree with that.
like you come home, you kick your shoes off, and they probably in the middle of the floor. I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't think that's something considered to be a hard strike. Like, man, pick up your shoes, or so I don't know. That's hard for me to say.
Okay,
Hard strikes.
let's say they
Ooh,
strike out though. Okay, after a
okay.
breakup, do they get 72 hours to contest the breakup
I was just gonna
or get
say
better?
72 hours to do what?
Just contest. Say they point. Like if somebody dude came to you said he moving to California, should you get 72 hours to say, "Hey, I can make long distance work. Let's get back together," or is the breakup the final thing and there's no time period to contest?
It should be the final thing, and the reason why I'm gonna say this is because something had to lead up to get to this point, right?
Mhm.
So I'm sure you're not gonna just let all these strikes lead up and never let that person know, hey, you striking out, like, or you know, I'm frustrated, I'm getting tired with this. Can we talk about this? Can we? So at some point when you're tired of doing talking, once you say you're done, it should be done. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't get a 72-hour grace period.
You should just accept the decision.
And you should accept it because you knew it was coming.
Okay, so
Like,
why
you
not
gotta hold
have the
that person
last breakup
responsible
sex?
too.
You
Man,
accepted the
Now we
decision.
back to that.
man,
I just don't think that's a good.
devastated.
You accepted it, so why not? Oh, okay. Reed, how many strikes? How many
Man,
medium?
oh yeah, one, two.
Two?
That's it. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Yeah, because here's the situation: patterns start to develop themselves very quickly when you allow for people to get away with stuff. Let's put it like this:
You need more than
got-
2 stripes on a shirt to call it a pattern.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm basic. I'm monotone. I'm monochrome in that regard. So the situation is, and I'll say something very novel. We've said it previous in our podcast. You got my car. You supposed to come pick me up from work. You late. I'm standing outside the job. People walking by ask me if I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good. I have a car. I paid for this car, but you tricking off and for whatever reason, you late to pick me up. Oh, you get one more time on that because you don't care enough about me to be overly cautious and you know that I don't like waiting on people and I don't like being waited on. And so in the idea of you got to be considerate when somebody's extending themselves to you and putting themselves in a vulnerable situation. I would before I called the cab or I would walk to let all the anger build up. and you don't want to start that. You know,
Did I
the
tell
fact is,
you?
go ahead.
Did I tell you
Mm.
about my story? You
Mm-mm.
saying it verbatim. Go ahead.
Oh dang. See, and how many times was that okay? It was never, I'm sorry, it was never okay. How many times did you allow for it?
Did I get denied? It was twice.
Yeah, there it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
There it is.
I ain't gonna be stranded all the time.
Man, it just
Nobody gonna
so
pick me up.
something exactly. And that's when you start getting distracted and looking up. And then you're doing a disservice to your spirit and your reputation when you let yourself get distracted and then try to create a new chick and have your old. It's just not fair to the new chick for sure. But it's also not fair to the old chick. You got to cut bait at some point. But she starts to develop certain things that lets you know she's not as attentive. I think in my perspective, I've always had women that were I thought were attentive. And so we had relationships. Like all of my girlfriends, I was with them for at least a year. And then it was just like, yeah, this ain't working. And then I need to have a crucial conversation and let you know this ain't what it is. But I can also say this, and then I can also say this. And I think I'll be happy to hear your point on it too, bro. I honestly believe with all my heart, and I would pass the polygraph test. Every chick that I broke up with, I still think I could have hit up to 6 months after we broke up. like with all my heart and soul. You could have a house. I think for up to now, after I got away from them and wasn't paying attention to what they had going on and all that, life moved on and it would have just been a little awkward. But I think some residue of that love, that good love, stayed on them for at least 6 months. And it was a couple that I broke up with and then slept around with them until they moved away or just naturally, like they wanted whatever they could have for as long as they could have it. And I took full advantage of that. So in your situation, but that's because I didn't fuck them over. If anybody paying attention, it's because I wasn't the bad guy like that. It was just, it wasn't going to work. And I'm a forward thinking strategist. And so I'm like, look, let me explain how I see it. And they couldn't argue it because as a wise woman has told me that I'm married, you can't tell me how to feel. So in that regard, once I got to that point where I'm thinking of, they say with an athlete, once you start thinking about retirement, you've retired. Right. So in a relationship, once you think about leaving, you've left, you've emotionally moved on. And so it's not fair to figure out how to make it work. And a lot of people say it's for the kids and it's for the bread and all this. Man, it's some peace is priceless. Peace of mind is priceless. And it's other fish. You just got to go set your boat in another pond. So have you had situations where you broke up with a chick and thought that you ruined yourself to be able to hit again? Like in the next week or so, or 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever?
Yeah, within the next week or so, yeah. But
yeah. Okay.
Unlike you, I'm probably 22, right?
Okay.
So I've been broken up with before, but I can say on those two, honestly, I passed the polygraph too, that they ended up regretting it. And I'm not going to blame them fully because there's no relationship that I was in that I hit a triple double, like giving my all, and they broke
Right.
up with me. I
Right.
wasn't giving them my all,
I agree.
but I was giving them enough for them to regret it. So when they realized that they made a mistake, they should have just
Right.
gave it time.
Right.
Then yeah, I could and probably did I did end up hitting again after.
Yes.
So
Yes, I
yeah,
know this.
huh,
Yeah, this is the code. This is the way, like on the
yeah.
Mandalorian.
So
This
yeah,
is the
yeah.
way.
But we could have avoided this if we just did that one last time.
We could have.
No,
I
we
agree.
Oh,
couldn't.
So,
I probably
so
still would have anyway.
it would eventually happen because that's the nature of thing. Time it wears on us all. But Shonda, have you ever been broken up with? Maybe we should start it with that because you real aggressive and you're not one to hit.
Yeah, he's scared to break up.
if you just consider the breakups that I had with my children dad, I mean, I don't know if those were really breakups. We got back
So
together, so
no
no.
boy ever cussed you out and dumped you saying you think you all that, or nobody ever
Yes,
was like,
I just thought about it. It was
good, good. I feel better now.
right before I met my children dad.
Okay.
But I was in school,
So
so to
what?
me, I was in
These breakups don't count.
Right.
we're so
It's like on hollow
young and
ground.
naive. It's
Like
just
it don't
Is
like,
it
count.
relationship
no, you
school?
really don't know what you're doing. But yeah, he broke up with me, and I deserved it.
Yeah.
Yep, I deserved it.
Did he break up, or did he break up, leave the door open?
No, he broke up.
Okay.
So
And
when
that
he
was,
broke up with you, you
yeah.
thought that you really thought in your heart and soul you couldn't have got him back if you really wanted it?
I could have.
Thank you.
I could have because I I was talking to my kid's dad at that time, and somebody told him.
Mm-hmm. No further
So yeah.
questions, Your Honor. Yeah, no further questions.
Yeah.
Rest in his case.
So he was,
And
he was
that's
pretty mad.
so that's you. You still could have gotten him back. Let's say you not with your children's dad. You are single, doing
Mhm.
you, healing,
Mhm.
whatever. Could said dude have called you on a lonely night and come by and watch Friday After Next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask a better question. Well, I'm gonna answer the question first, and then unfortunately, I gotta do this because this is the show, right? This is the show.
Mhm.
I told him about how long ago was it? Told you it's 2 girls, 3 months. Was that a month ago when I was telling you that?
It's 2 girls, 3
It's
months.
2 women, no matter what they got going on in their life. I have no idea. Do you remember I told you this?
Oh yeah. A couple months ago.
No, okay, so here's the story, and then I'm gonna ask you the same question. If my relationship didn't work out, there is nothing in my heart that's telling me any different, and I haven't talked to these chicks in 20 years. But I believe with all my heart and soul, it's at least 2 women. Okay, at least 2 women that if I call, I have no idea what's going on in their life. Swear to God, have no idea. But if I called them within 3 months, we'd be back together. Is there anybody in your life that you feel like if you and your guy didn't work out, you know for a fact that he would move heaven and earth to get with you one more again?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. All right, we leave it at that because
I had somebody tell me verbatim that I would leave whoever I was with at that time. I said, "What if you married?" She said, "I would get a divorce."
I have to. I have to.
Okay,
I have
okay.
to. I have to.
I thought I was gonna stun you with that, but okay.
Yeah, no, I have to. I'm scared of that though. I'm scared. Listen.
Me too, because
Yeah.
what
I'm not that good.
you haven't
I'm
happened
gonna keep it
in
real.
your
Yeah.
life that
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm not that
you
good.
ain't done nothing has changed since we separated. Like you ain't nobody stepped in your life to you that was like, damn, I would be scared of it too.
Yeah.
Especially if you
yeah.
with somebody.
I'll be afraid.
Because one thing about that is you're not the same person that you was when you were with them. Things have changed. So if they're still holding on to you from what you was 20 years ago, then I would think that their mindset is still back that way too. Like,
I think it's tough because and I might have told this story before, but it's a situation where there's a young lady and I used to mess around with her when I was young, and we was young, and so she really was into me, and I was into her kind of, but she was really into me, and I met her again. I got reacquainted with her, and she was grown, she had kids, and she was married, And she went into this thing after a few conversations where you the love of my life and you just don't know. I compare every guy to you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're aligning me as a man with that time in your life. You have a husband and responsibilities and bills and kids and a car note and all this stuff that life has put on you at this point in time. When you was liking me, you didn't have a car note, you had a car. You didn't have a job, you had gas money. You did like it was such a blissful time in your late teens when you get into that infatuation with a young boy, right? And so you align him with the time in your life, and all of a sudden he's golden because that's the golden time in your life. Trust me, I wasn't that great. It just so happened we was both on the rise at that point in time, and it was the wonder years, right? It was the wonder years. So don't give me that much credit. I appreciate it, but trust me, if you really sat and thought about it, I didn't take you nowhere. We never vacationed, like we never nothing. It was just
Wow.
you missed your youth, you missed your innocence because now you have real responsibilities and real things that need to be handled. And you're looking at me thinking about who you used to be, and you know, fawning over that young lady that body was nice and everything. The world was right in front of her. And you think if you can reset and go back with me, the world will open up again. But I'm not trying to open up the world with enough room for me, you, and 5 kids. That ain't
So that means that I don't know how old you were, but the 19-year-old you doesn't even compare to the husband. I mean, her husband doesn't even compare to the 19-year-old you.
I think
That's crazy.
but see, here's the problem. I wasn't a husband. It's apples and
I
oranges.
know, but that's what I'm saying. Her husband is doing so much more. I'm
Absolutely.
hoping.
Absolutely.
And you
But
mean to tell me that it's still running up against the 19-year-old you?
I'm gonna tell you this.
I don't think so. I think she can age progress him.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. She took where I was. For example, Tupac gonna always be handsome because you never saw old Tupac, right? Like in your mind, he just got a little gray. He never got a gut. He still he had six. He was 60 with a
Still had
6-pack.
thug life right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in her idea of me, she like he said, she age progressed me to be on a trajectory to where I was now Supreme Court Justice something because she had faith in me, and I was and I was this that and I was that everything that that was great because it was innocent and it was young and it was energy, you know, it was a lot of energy and I had, you know, a trajectory. She had that same thing going for her, and then when we splintered off, she started to gather life. And life slows you down. Like you said, I came in to take these pictures. Like, you know, so life will slow you down. And she's comparing him against a young me, and he'll never be able to compete with a legend because and I'm not saying I was legendary. I'm saying in her mind, I was a legend. I was a old timer. I was an ancestor in her love. And that's the tough part, especially if you got somebody that's like your first, or that was the first real love. That was the first time you felt that, because love it'll infect you when it gets you for that first real time, when it tug on you. And it's hard to let it go. That's why people stay in bad relationships and everything else, because it's a drug. It is literally like a drug. And I think that she had more of the addiction than I did at that point. And so I was able to move on. And unfortunately, I really don't believe that I have the ability. I don't have an addictive personality. So I wish that. It's funny because I'll say this now. I'll let y'all move on. But when people talk about all this shit they go through in their marriages and all of this, you know, I took him back after this, or I took her back after that, and blah blah blah, or you know, ain't nothing that she could do that make I'll leave my kids and all this other stuff. Then I have to just say I'm jealous because I ain't never had none that good. I ain't never had none that good where I feel like I'm lesser than, or I need to take a bit. No, I haven't. Congratulations, women. I haven't had any that good. If y'all putting it on them like that, man, thank you. Thank you very much. So,
all right, I could kick it over like to Shonda real quick.
Okay.
What is your preferred breakup style? Because you just mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Through text, dinner, in public, intervention, family style. Which way would you prefer to be broken up with?
It depends on the person. If I got food, then I probably need to do this over the phone.
No,
But
them to break up with you. For them to break up
to
with
break
you.
up with me, face to face. I need you to sit down, and I need you to be honest with me.
Is that in public, or is that alone?
No, we can be We don't have to be in public.
So alone, can it be face to face with family or alone? Family and
Yeah, let's
friends?
not do it in front of anybody.
I was gonna say like an
That's weird.
anti-proposal, like an
Yeah, I mean,
like an
no.
anti-proposal.
Like you can call me and say, hey, it's this famous phrase. We need to talk. Can we
Mhm.
talk?
Mhm.
I can come over, or you can come over here, and be like, okay, we talk, and that'll be it. But no, don't put me. Please don't do it in front of people. Like that.
Okay.
That to me, that's just don't
So
embarrass me.
alone, y'all still attracted to each other, right? That one last cry is all I'm saying. So it do
Oh, well, let me throw this in there. Do not try to break up with me and caress me and all of that while you're telling me that you don't want to be with me no more.
Oh.
hold on now. This is the breakup
Because how you going to
speech.
get to that point?
He's still
How do
talking.
you get, tell me,
Y'all
how do
still
you call
friends.
someone over and you tell them that this is not working? I think it'd be best if we both go our separate ways. And then you tell me how you insert this one last cry. How
Cause
does that
that wasn't
happen?
cause that
Cause he
wasn't the
still
problem.
gonna
That
always
wasn't the
love you.
problem. Yes.
They still care about you. Y'all are
Yes.
still friends.
And they still attracted to you.
Yes.
It's just the relationship won't work. He's breaking off the relationship. So you adding it on. You doing too
The
much counting.
relation, okay, that's going away too. I just want to know, how do you
Golly.
Bo-
do that?
Man.
Boxers still shake
Incestuous.
hands
Do
after
you
the
hold
fight.
your right?
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
you hold hands and then
Yeah.
you gaze in each other's eyes or something? Does it work?
I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. I believe when it happened for me, they thought that they could bounce it back into me. Bounce the, like
And
change
you
the
and you
call. They
had
thought
open
they was gonna
arms
reverse the
for it,
call.
right?
No, not at all. I had made up my decision, but I was gonna
Oh,
let them have this closure. Um but I think from their point of view, it's like, wait a second. Like you said, it is confusing. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's okay.
So Shonda, are you opposed to leaving the door open? Say, hey, time is not on our side. But in the meantime, let's just be friends. New edition.
Hmm.
Can you do that? Is that okay? Or do y'all have to be enemies? Can the door
we
be
don't
left
have to be
open?
enemies. We
Can the
don't
door
have to
be
be
open to
enemies.
a future get back together type thing?
We can be friends, but it depends on what door you want me to leave open.
Hmm.
Y'all friends and time is not on your
Because
side now, but if if it ever
but
comes back
it's a
around,
certain door
let's
that's
try our
gonna
love again.
close. It's a certain door that'll be closed, but you can always call me and hit me up. We can talk, but that door won't be open.
But y'all can never give love another try.
I mean, if we stay in touch with each other and we're talking, it may come up,
Oh no.
and it could,
No.
but
Okay.
that door won't be open for that.
Let me tell you what my grandma told me. If you go in the refrigerator and grab the milk and take a swig and it's full, why are you putting it back in the refrigerator thinking it's gonna be better when you come back? When people break up with people, they break up with them for a reason. The reason why you have that loneliness and that sadness is because you miss the routine. You miss somebody checking on you, see if you ate yet. You miss somebody warming your bed. You can put your feet on eight shins. You know what I'm saying? You miss the routine, but you broke up with that motherfucker for a reason. They
Mhm.
wasn't good enough to be with you no more. And you got to be able to reconcile that and let go. And it's a tough thing. And we've all talked about the fact that we moved on from relationships and people have said, you know what? I understand what you was going through at the time or what you had going on, and I became a better person. I've had at least 3 people tell me, you know what? Our relationship was season, reason, lifetime. Like we talked about, Shonda. It was a season, reason. It was for a season, and you was there for me, and that type of stuff. And when I was younger, I was a lot more dismissive and a lot more harsh. Like I expected you to have the same drive I had and the same grind I had and all of that. And so I probably pushed women into a situation where they would fold. And before they could fold, I walked away. But it was always a conversation. It wasn't a ghosting. I didn't, man, that's a new thing where you just, just never come back
Mhm.
again.
That's
But
another option. Yeah.
it was never that. And I do agree to be poetic. I made them walk on a path of thorns, but they rose again. They did. So
So we go to you, and I ask you differently. Is text ever a good way to break up? It's to you, Reed.
No,
You can never
no.
break
I
up through
gave
text.
never, 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 never. I don't think the relationship I think the conversation might have started over text or email, but then the relationship started over a phone call or a face to face. So I'm same time. I'm the way it started is the way it's gonna end. We came here together, we leave here together type stuff. So
So it
if
can
I
break
feel
up
like
over phone.
yeah,
Over
I
phone
can
is
do
fine.
that. I can do that. I think I have done that for sure. I think I've done that. Probably once or twice, but it wasn't by design or desire. It was just out of necessity because I knew it wasn't going to go well and it was going to be a lot of extra whatever. But in every situation, you do have to wean the person off. It's only been never mind. No, it's never been a woman that I talked to the last time and that was the last time. That's just never happened yet for me. Now I might run them off. I'm still young enough and dumb enough, but it's never been a one and done type conversation where that was it. And I can't imagine it being that explosive. I'm just not a dramatic person like that. I can't imagine something being so. And I did some dumb shit. Like don't get me wrong. It's been drama. She just
Mm-hmm.
stuck with me through it, unfortunately, for a little while longer. And then I ended up switching it and then realizing I done messed up so much. She gonna keep bringing this shit up. We need to just go ahead and part ways. Like that's happened on two good relationships when I was young. But it's not gonna be a text. It would have never been a text even at that time, and it would have never been like I said, it was one time it was a phone call, but it was the circumstances that made it a phone call more than anything else. I just really think if you respect me enough to love me and take that part of my life or that them months or them years or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then you should respect me enough to say, you already know what time it is. Like, and generally they say the woman always know, right? Especially with the cheating and all that. Women know when you really ain't feeling their ass and you ain't running up behind them and I forgot the call or I forgot, all of this. When you start forgetting a lot, then yeah, you falling out of love and you just got to call it.
Okay. Got another question for you then.
Okay.
You've been together 4 years. I think you
Mhm.
said you had a 4 year.
Yep, I
You
did.
start, making friends and stuff,
Yep.
dating like other couples, double dates, whatever you call it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
When you break up, who gets
Mhm.
custody of the friends?
Oh, yeah, I don't give a damn about them people. Yeah, so that I'm not a good friend, and I'm sorry for the audience if you had painted a picture of me. I'm really a out of sight, out of mind kind of person. I have a life where I've had to move on, move on, move on. And so if you rock with me, I rock with you. But the moment you get busy, I got busy too. So 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 if you have any hesitation of we gonna reach out to him and all of that, no, you got it. She good. I can look, I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm straight together. I'm straight alone. I can do that. I have sisters. I have people who can't seem to be comfortable just marinating on their own. I've never had to, exercise that activity, but I feel like I could if need be. Like if this don't work, like as far as like this marriage thing, I'm the NCAA tournament. I'm one and done for sure. Like it would take so much act of God and Mother Nature and all these other deities to have me do this again. But the reality of it is, you never say never. But I could be by myself and be good. I could be cool. I could figure it out because I'm
So
self-sustained.
y'all broke up and y'all broke up with the couples.
She didn't. No, she still rocked with the people we was rocking with, and they was her support system,
It's
and she
not the
needed that. I
same.
did not.
They want
It's
both
not.
of y'all or none at all.
They stupid, and you gotta let them know that they stupid. Yeah, because they
I
be on
agree.
some slick chick trying to get you back together and shit, like trying to
Mhm.
do a parent trap. Like, no,
Yep,
you didn't
I
know
agree.
enough. You didn't know enough. We wasn't putting you in our business, so you don't know why this really happened. And I ain't gonna tell you, and she ain't gonna tell you. So
So,
yeah, if that's what it's got to be, yeah. Don't invite me to the birthday. Somebody's like Deion Cole said, y'all not going to each other's funeral. Y'all not gonna be able to go to each other's
oh, that was
funerals.
genius.
So
Yeah.
so in the idea of you had a party, I'll do this year. It'd be like custody for the children. I do this year, she do next year. You know what I'm saying? And
Dang.
and but trying to coerce this into making us realize, and I know people who've gotten divorced and remarried. I know people who have tried to move on from that person and it just didn't click. And God bless them. Like they figured out. Don't nobody know how to make eggs or like I like them. These streets is harder than I thought it was. I went to free agency and end back on the same team. But you got to come back with your hat in your hand and your tail between your legs and kind of have some contrition if you were the one that perpetrated that. And I just think I don't. I've not yet been put in a situation where I got to rock like that. But I've had some patience that's been bestowed upon me, and I've had some good conversation, and they like the good Lord, they know my heart, and so I've been able to string some of these things together, and then here we are now. I just think that from a breakup perspective, when you get grown, you just have to understand what you're signing up for. I know a lot of old men, they wife die or they wife leave them, they trying to get on the next train smoking to get right back down that aisle because they try, you know what I'm saying? And old women always turn into Stella. They want to go on girls trips and cruises. And man, there's so many cougars out there you can hit if you go on these singles cruises and stuff that old Cleve was telling us about.
Yeah, he did. He did.
You know what I'm saying?
He said you
And
could
so,
indeed get raped.
yeah. So in the concept of how an older woman manages her newly found, and I hate to say freedom, but stick with me, audience. Her newly found freedom is looked at in a way of a reprieve, and she gets to get some of that old thing back. And a dude is looking at, man, I got T minus to get booed up,
Right.
to have somebody else cooking and cleaning and telling me what to do, because that's what relationships ultimately end up, is that the wife manages the relationship, manages the home, manages your mentality, keeps the peace. And when you out there without that, if you can't do that on your own, even if you can, you don't want to do it long term because you become accustomed to that. So to break up with me at this point in time, I need you to rip the Band-Aid. I need to hit again. And then I need you to keep making these cookies. We've already had this conversation. But then I need to, figure out, how do I make this look good for myself for the next 10 years, God willing. And then if I get old and lonely and me and some woman have a gentleman's agreement to we be cool with each other. But the problem is women be wanting to be betrothed. They want to be married again and all this other stuff. And
If she
so those are
want to
tough
be married
conversations.
again, she better not be making cookies for her ex. That's all I know. Shonda. Shonda.
That's what you got out of that story, huh? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's my How long can they stay on your phone plans and your Hulu and Netflix subscriptions?
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's immediately cut off. I'm
Damn.
like, you're not my
After
child.
breakup?
If you broke up with them,
Yes.
you left them.
You broke up with them. Now they can't even watch Netflix and get over you?
No.
Damn. So you
What
just
about
on
the
the circle
phone
by
plan?
yourself.
What about the phone plan?
I need you to understand what the breakup means. That means ties are broken. It's
I
nothing.
hate your
You
breakup.
can
Dog.
get
Oh
a
my
2 weeks
God.
notice when you break up with a company.
Golly.
They can get a 2 weeks
Yes.
notice.
And you do. And I'm pretty sure they got the notice when I said, I'm getting sick of this. And why you ain't doing it? I mean, the notice was given a long time ago. Why should I keep you on my phone plan and I'm not calling you and you ain't calling me?
Let me say this. I know we're coming to the end, but let me just say this. I hate, loathe, and despise the fact that you believe in a relationship when something has gone wrong, everything has gone wrong with that man. Like you don't have nothing. Okay, he's not good with money. Or okay, he done, messed around. Or okay, something has happened that has turned you to say, you're no longer any good for me. But to say that the investment that you made in this man means he's no longer a good human being, I don't like that at all. That bothers me for brothers out there that could possibly, that was with you and you just like there's so many zombies out there in these streets that used to fool with you.
But why would I, if I'm breaking up with you and I'm done,
Yes.
why would I just keep you lingering on like that?
Because you don't
Because he's
hate
still a
them.
good man. You don't hate him because he's still a
I
good
didn't say I
person.
did. I didn't say I hated them. I just when I'm done, I'm just done.
There's nothing wrong for that transition period to
I've been
hand
and I
off
think
things.
and hey, let me just say maybe I'm this way because of my past relationship, and I've given those 1, 2, 3 chances, and I've not ever had to let them stay on the phone plan, but helped you out with this, kept certain doors open just to help you. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't turn out the way that I thought it was going to turn out. Either you felt like that we should still be together. It just was never a clean break. So I think in my head it's just break clean. So won't nobody be confused.
I think you ain't care about nobody. You care about you. You a selfish
Well, you know what? After I got through with that, I did put myself first. I had
no,
to
and
put
second.
myself first.
And
Yeah.
second. And then it was the kids. Man, you sitting
Well,
in
yeah,
three
I
seats.
had to learn to love me. So,
You go to the movies, can't nobody sit on the other sides of you. That's just, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we can get some final thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Who want to go first?
I do.
Okay,
I
okay.
do. I'm very, very excited that I'm not the only one who feels like it doesn't have to be so cold and calculating to move on emotionally from a relationship, because not all breakups are created equal and not all of them are created out of spite. Sometimes it's time for you to do what the signs are telling you, or what the Holy Spirit, your conscious, women's intuition, whatever it is. It's telling you it's time to move on. This is no longer what you thought it was. You're growing and he's not, or he's growing and you don't want to keep that pace up. Something is saying this is not playing out the way I had envisioned it to be playing out. And the mature thing to do is to have a conversation and call a spade and let them know your perspective, your observations, your points on why you don't see this lasting 5 more months or 5 more years. And then let them understand and make the determination. And they might try to make qualifications and say, well, I don't have to be the greatest person and I don't have to, work on Wall Street or whatever the case may be. But that conversation needs to be had. And then you have to be able to give yourself the grace to ease out of it, just like gaining weight. You can't lose it that fast without the surgery. And this does not require surgery. It damn sure don't require a machete. And ironically, Shonda trying to cut off
Yeah,
the foot.
yeah, right.
And I just like, so I do think that if we're talking about breaking up, the one thing is if you feel it, it's not something you have to act on immediately. Go ahead and strategize that. Go ahead and plan it out and then implement it and be as smart and considerate as you can. But no, it's never going to be easy. It's going to hurt. Paper cuts hurt, right? Like, it's okay. No matter how big or how small, no matter how much stuff y'all got together or not, you got to sometimes just pull away and make a clean break so you can have the opportunity to have something else take that space. If you feel like you deserve love or you've earned love, you got to evacuate that in order to have that vacancy in order for something else to move in. It's not going to be a situation where God give you Mr. Right and you would Mr. Right now. That's the nature of a good breakup, is making a determination that it's time. And then you start putting things into place to make sure that you have some serenity and some civility with that person once it's all said and done. And that's my final point on breaking up. Ladies
okay, is it
next.
to me?
Yes,
Okay.
Lord.
I hear you on with some of what you're saying. I do agree. I think you should. Everyone relationship is different, and the breakup is going to be different. You should know who you're dealing with. And you should be clear on breaking up. Do I just say do not lead a person on? Like, if you know there's no future, then it should be clean cut. That's just how I see it. But if you know there's potential and you just need a, what do they call it? I forgot what the young folks say now. It's not separating, but we just need some time. Then, plan that accordingly. But I feel like you shouldn't, it's going to be some feelings that's going to be hurt. But I think nowadays, a lot of people can't take breakups. They can't take rejections. So, and the way I think about it is you just should put out there, say what you mean and mean what you say, and be clear about what your intentions are with that person. Don't lead nobody on.
And what's your point, bro?
Good point. I would say in a dream world, there would be relationship prenups that we could sign, but there are none. So you just got to be a good person. Remember to be a good person. We don't want enemies. And the person that you have to face and look at every day in the mirror is you. So just be respectful of someone that you loved and cared about who did nothing malicious to you. Like, return things that should be returned.
Right.
Split stuff. Like, if they
Right.
bought the couch and you bought the
Right.
love seat, you can afford a whole new set. Just
Right.
give that to them.
Right.
Like,
Don't be petty.
yeah,
Right.
don't be petty. Like,
The
if I
irony.
can't stay here, nobody can stay here. We getting evicted. No, you can't
Right.
afford it. Let them live there.
Right.
Like, don't be like that. And if y'all both pay for the timeshare, see if they can buy you out, or y'all just talk about who's gonna be there whatever weekend. Um, who gets custody of the pet? Who is the pet bought for? Like,
Right.
you gotta think about
Right.
stuff like that when you breaking up, and even the breakup story.
Right.
If you
Right.
communicate together, the story is going to be pretty much the same, even though a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people try to play victim.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be still friends with that person, don't want to look over your shoulder, worry about your car being scratched, keyed,
Right.
sugar, salted, whatever they do to the gas
Yeah.
tank, just be a good person to yourself and to them. And me personally, I like
Yeah.
to grow and don't like to go back across the bridge.
Yeah.
But if it happens, then damn, a beaver must have built the dam or something. I don't know. So, somehow.
Let my mom get the final point. My mom has a
Hmm.
statement, and I think it's very powerful. It's very, very sage wisdom, right? Old folks, right?
Hmm.
And she said, whatever she was when she came into your, whatever you were when she came into your life, and whatever you were built up to be after while you was with her, when she leaves, don't be less than what you were when she arrived. So if I was a 7, and we don't do 7s, I'm sorry. If I was an 8
Hmm.
and she showed up and
Hmm.
she built me up to be a 10,
Uh-huh.
I refuse to be a 5 when she leaves. I'll go
Hmm.
back to 8, but I'd be damned if I let you take more with you than was there when you arrived. Women need to understand. Stop letting these dudes put you in a position where you cutting your hair all off and you doing
Yeah.
and you getting these memoriam tattoos and all this other stuff. You gotta go back to where you were when he found you, when he foundeth a good thing, and start from there. But don't ever let somebody come in, even if they build you up. If they breaking you down while they with you, then it's great, good riddance. And then you got to get back to your 7, your 8, whatever it is. But always remind yourself who you were when you started this thing. And I think if you can hold on to that, that'd be the best way to break up with anyone, anything, any job, any situation. Just don't lose yourself in
Yep. Shake hands and
Yeah.
say thanks for the lessons.
it. That's it. This concludes another episode of the Hollow Points Podcast, where we act as your therapeutic outlet on topics many think about but are afraid to speak on.
Oh, you're welcome.